Just knowing when to keep fighting and knowing when it's over.
You see when you look at me.
It's you.
I swear to God, I have memorized every square inch of this room. And it still feels like a party.
Hello to all the geek enthusiasts, nerd aficionados, and deadheads. It is I, Mess5150, back for another Malicecast TV Talks reaction, review, and recap podcast for, you guessed it, The Walking Dead. We are talking The Walking Dead. We are doing this because we've been trying to do this over and over and over again. Yeah. So this is for the season finale, season 9, episode 16, The Storm, which aired a week ago, and we tried to record last Monday and something happened. Then we tried to record last Tuesday and then something happened. And we wanted to record today. And luckily nothing happened. We're here. So
we have spent so much time talking about this episode, not recording. We really need to fix that.
Thank you for hanging out, coming and back and checking out the show. We record these live on Twitch, twitch.tv/Malice Corp. If you want to see the edited versions, head on over to YouTube, youtube.com/C/Malice Corp. Or if you want to see links for everything and all the different casts we do, this is all brought to you by the website malice-corp.com. Head over there, click on podcasts and other media. You can see other shows that we are a part of, that we have other geek enthusiasts, nerd aficionados from this group that are a part of that do different things. So
Game of Thrones coming soon.
Yeah, Game of Thrones coming soon.
I don't want to be on that cast because I probably will be watching
it. You won't be watching it?
No, I will be watching it.
Okay, well.
I am a Game of Thrones fan too. Come on.
Yeah. No, we're gonna do it after we all watch it. We're not gonna be like, let's guess what happened on tonight's
live cast.
Okay, so being that this aired a week ago, I haven't rewatched it. I didn't go and do a recap. All I did was I got 2 pages of notes, so we're gonna try and go off that to talk about
those
the
are stuff. Fairly thick notes. I feel like you paid a lot more attention to the episode than I did.
I do that every time. Yeah.
I can just imagine him sitting really close to the TV now and just like, really intently.
Sitting cross-legged on the floor, just looking up at the TV like
like a 5-year-old.
Hence, if you go back and watch and listen to the last episode when I was very aggravated with the Pike scene, the Spike scene, and actually slipped an F word. Yeah, I really get into what I'm writing down here and what I'm looking at and stuff. So I have jokes and stuff written on here too. But
I just listened to that cast the other day. Nicely edited, sir.
Yeah. But with that, let's talk about who's here to talk about The Walking Dead with you guys. First and foremost, you have me, Mess5150, also joining us. You heard his sultry tones as he's been talking. Icy Zorro is here on the show.
Oh yeah, it's my voice is particularly rumbly today. So.
You know, rumbly?
Yeah, sultry as you like.
As long as it's not tumbly, because we don't need you getting up and running.
No.
Okay. And also our Deadhead enthusiast, Mrs. Malice, is with us on the cast.
Hello.
Say hi.
Hi. Good evening.
Excited to talk The Walking Dead. Okay,
Winter is finally here.
Yeah. What we do on this cast, if you haven't listened to it before, we kind of talk about all the stuff that happened in the episode, react to it. If you guys want to join in on the conversation, join us live here on the Twitch channel, or if you just want to keep the conversation going, make sure that you head over to any of our Twitter handles that you see written on the screen. This main cast you can get at Malice Corp, or you can reach any of us on Twitter, and you can drop comments in the YouTube video as well and let us know what your thoughts were on the episode and everything. So diving right into it. So a lot of people were worried about this episode after the calm before, which was the episode prior.
Yeah.
Mainly because the last episode was an hour and a half long, and then this one was only the traditional 60 minutes. So they're like, why is the season finale,
It felt very Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones traditionally does the penultimate episode being like the big battle, or here's all the drama for the season, and then the finale is kind of let's tie up the loose ends. It felt very much like that.
It was nice to not be left on a cliffhanger because there are really not
Absolutely
cliffhangers. So kinda, but not really.
not like whose head is Negan gonna bash cliffhanger, but yeah.
Oh my god, that was intense. I still cringe on that moment and then cry when I find out. So and think about it. So.
I'll find you.
I'll find you.
After I go to the obstetrician and get some new glasses for this. Sorry. But yeah, so when I look at it, if you watch it, I really think that this is a 2-part episode that should be solidified as one. Hence the name title being Calm Before and then the Storm. So so I just look at it as basically a movie episode, a 2.5 hour.
Yeah, it's going to be better in retrospect. It's going to be better when you can binge them together.
Yeah, exactly. So we opened up with it was a bit of a time jump because winter was just starting at the end of the Calm Before. Now we have the actual winter storm coming. Winter for the first time on The Walking Dead, just like Game of...
No, that's the second time winter's been on The Walking Dead.
No, the Gimple and Nicotero, they've been talking a lot about how they've been trying to do winter on the show for 9 years now. They got to do it.
They had when they were traveling from the prison, it started to get winter, and they left the cold area before winter hit, or something like that. They were
first winter then.
Yeah, that was the first winter.
Okay,
it was right before Judith was born. Or no, they were trying to get out from Atlanta. That's when they got to the prison because it was before Judith was born.
This is the first time they have rained potato flakes down on people.
Yes, so it is the first time they've done that. So they're higher up.
It's the first time that we've seen zombie sickles.
This was the first time of winter on the show, where the jump point was in terms of this is a small, like a couple months jump point from the last episode. When the Calm Before ends, the very last shot you get in it is the grass and the first snowflakes dropping.
Yeah, the first potato flakes falling.
Yeah. Yeah. And now we're in winter. And then that's where we open up the episode where Ezekiel's on the ham radio talking about basically everything they've done to try and keep the kingdom running. It's finally falling apart. The pipes are bursting. Everything is just so.
Well, and that's something they've been foreshadowing since the beginning of the season, or at least since the time jump. We saw all the pipes are just garbage. They're all about to fall apart, and then we didn't come back to that for like 5 or 6 episodes. So,
that was the whole thing that was being
fell apart.
Yeah, that was the whole thing that was being played up by Ezekiel or by the Alexandra, by Aaron, talking about like the kingdom needs our help. They need this fair because otherwise,
the fair apparently did not do enough.
Well,
I thought during the fair, though, the pipes did make that loud sound, and Henry mentioned something about the pipes always being busted.
Yeah, that's where he went off to when he got kidnapped by Alpha to go check on a pipe. But yeah, apparently not enough people brought, new pipes to the fair to replace their old ones.
Rude.
Oh, they just you can always fix things for so long.
This fair is gonna save us all. What do you mean you just brought hammers? You don't have any pipes?
Here's some aluminum cans that you can wrap around.
Carl's giant pudding tin. That could work.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, one of the key points that Ezekiel said is knowing when to keep fighting and knowing when it's over. And reservedly, it's over. The town looks as abandoned as Atlanta did when they're walking out of there. So
the kingdom is desolate. It is I don't know if it was just a lack of resources. We like Ezekiel. We don't want to think it was bad management, but clearly something went wrong there.
No, it was just like he said, knowing when it's over. You can fight so long to keep something going. Rick did the same thing with the prison and everything, kept trying to push it and got it to succeed, but then you know.
When water rot sets in, there's just no fixing it.
Says the new homeowner.
We do see what you guys were thinking was going to happen. Daryl's looking after Lydia. We also get Carol.
He's still father figuring her. I love it.
We get Carol going through Henry's things, which was very, very cool because when she's looking at the cards and the artwork, that was the first time she saw it on camera. They held it.
Yes.
An actual real reaction.
Yeah. One of the little segments on Talking Dead was where they brought up, behind the scenes information. They're like, no, they held the cards and the little notes and stuff from Henry's box aside for Melissa McBride to see them for the first time on camera. So, I mean, she's an amazing actress. She could have done it anyway, but they wanted that genuine reaction and those like real tears.
I thought it was cute when she picked up the pen of the tiger, and I was like, "Oh, Shiva!"
I just want to know if they brought the movie along with them. Are they going to continue to watch Baby Huey as they move to Hilltop?
Well, they got to be worried about breaking that bulb.
Bubble wrap, man.
Well, what I want to know is, did they bring
let Jerry carry it?
Did they bring the stuffed Shiva that sits on his perch with them? That's a big stuffed animal to take with you. So
every community needs a mascot.
Yeah.
My question is the people that like left? It wasn't a whole lot. I thought there was a lot more people in the kingdom. Did they like send people before the snow set in?
This was showing the last amount of people leaving. Yeah.
How many people died fixing those pipes?
I know, right? And that water rot.
But they're heading to Hilltop, so that's where they've been sending people. They even mentioned that Hilltop doesn't know what to do with Tara, Jesus, and no word from Maggie. So they literally have no plan in place of who to run.
Yeah, and we were talking about this a little bit last episode. Like the Hilltop is now void of leadership. Who's going to step? Apparently, I was theorizing Daryl. Apparently now Ezekiel's just moving over.
Well, he's moving over, but I still think that there's, as time jumps happen, that there's a good chance that as people get to know him, Magna and Yukio are gonna Yumiko are going to be the ones. They're the ones that seem like the strongest leader.
They seem like they have a leadership philosophy in place. Even a small group as bad. They're both strong protagonists. They're going to be good.
We got the King Top going, so.
Well, yeah, that's what was it? Jerry that was immediately trying to come up with a portmanteau name for the new community.
Well, he shipped the two communities. Yeah, took Hilltop and Kingdom and made Kingtop. So Jerry's a shipper.
We call the Top King too,
Yeah.
The top dumb. The top dumb.
So the major things that happen on the road to Hilltop from the Kingdom, we get Alden just going up into Lydia.
Yeah, he's not shy or tactful. He's like, hey, you remember when you got my girlfriend killed?
Yeah, and Daryl standing up for her. So, which was nice to see. I did write one before I jump over to that. Because we have the other stuff going on in Alexandria as well. So staying with the Hilltop crew, or the crew going to Hilltop. Where did I write it down? Yeah, okay.
Daryl dads Lydia a bit, stops
from
laying all the guilt on her.
Yeah,
and to Carol, and Carol's like, I can only see my dead son when I look at her.
Yeah,
I like
and
the little thing where he's like, "What do you see in me?" or "What do you see when you look at me?" And she's like,
right, and that was a great illusion because allusion with an A, because he was the one that was holding her when they first saw that Sophia was really dead.
Yep.
So, well, I mean, kind of indirectly, Lydia caused this. Kind of indirectly, I was involved with Sophia dying. Do you just see me as a monster?
Well, and you're getting the stink eye from Ezekiel the whole time that.
I hated that little bit so much.
Yeah. Jealous much?
Well, and that's exactly what happens. Ezekiel confronts Daryl, separates him from the group, and tells Daryl basically,
he's like, "No, we're gonna go grab the arrows by ourselves. Hey, bro, can you just, you know your best friend, my wife. Can you just not talk to her like for a while?
Yeah, back off from my cookie. It's basically.
Oh,
Get off my Kool-Aid. Get
It's
off
the-
my Kool-Aid.
it's the first time I've truly disliked Ezekiel. That was a
Well,
terrible
Me
scene.
too.
and that's exactly what happened. What I wrote down on this is marked for death on Ezekiel because the fans will riot against splitting up that potential ship. If you
Yeah.
split up the Carol ship, I mean, even what's going on with Connie and Daryl and everybody wanting to put that ship together,
Yeah.
the Carol shippers are die hard. They do not want to see anything else but that comes.
They're nearly supernatural fandom obsessed about it.
Yeah. Jack was reading what was going on with Ezekiel a little bit different. He's in our chat room. He says he's not sure that Ezekiel was asking Daryl to leave because he is jealous. He thinks he was asking him to leave to take the girl because he was like, that girl upsets Carol.
I wouldn't
get out
say
there.
he's jealous. It was clearly like, hey, I need some alone time with my wife. Can you back off for a little bit?
Which is understandable.
Yeah. But still, he went about it in a weird, stupid way, and I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was the factor that it wasn't the reason I think it's a form of jealousy is that she is bonding with Daryl right now when they need that time to bond with each other
It's
because
not
of
that
what happened
she's-
to Henry.
It's not that she's bonding with Daryl. She has that bond with
She
Daryl.
has that bond, and
Yes, she
and
has
he
that
sees
bond.
it, and he keeps staring at it, and he keeps like watching, like she's getting close with Daryl, and it's not a he wants that bond that
Well,
they just clearly don't have.
that makes you question, though. Has Carol ever told Ezekiel about what Daryl's done for her in the past?
Oh, I'm sure I'm sure she has.
Yeah, they've been together for 6 years. She's
Because
she's
honestly,
ruined
if
everything at some point.
If that conversation had come up, I don't think he would have said what he said.
Yeah.
I can't
Jack says I read it as,
remember.
"Hey, you are protecting this girl, and this girl upsets Carol, and I can't help her unless you get her out of here." No, because he wasn't watching the girl with Daryl. He was every scene they were showing Ezekiel staring at Daryl and Carol, and it wasn't like him looking at the girl and then looking at how Carol was feeling, and then looking at the girl. He was staring at Daryl and Carol. They made sure to pinpoint that in the writing on the scenes that he's staring at them two together, and then he confronts Daryl about it.
Yeah, it felt very weird. It felt like, knowing that what their relationship is, and this might piss off some of the shippers, they're essentially brother and sister. They're super close.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It was kind of like, hey, Jamie Lannister, you want to maybe stay away from your sister for a little bit?
Yeah, no. I want to go to that extreme.
Not quite that, but yeah.
And it's not like they're in a relationship. It's just they've been through so much together. So of course they're close. They're friends. It's like, and I don't think Ezekiel sees it that way.
Yeah, but even from when Ezekiel asked her to marry him, he was trying to get that closeness with her, and then it took a while, and then, he's always been trying to get that closeness, and they finally had something working. But the second that things go haywire, the person that she leans on more is Daryl again, and
because Carol is amazing at compartmentalization.
Yeah.
So yeah, when things were fantastic and things were easy and there were communities that were stable and peaceful, she's with her husband, Ezekiel, who she chose to be with. And things get rough and we go back to war mode. Who's she going to go to? The guy that she's comfortable with in war mode. They are the two most senior actors on the show at this point. They've both been there since season 1. They have been through all of this together.
Yeah.
So that's a bond that Ezekiel can't break into. He can't be part of. And I get why he's
And
jealous.
the fact that he's stepping in between it, of course, it's going to create that void between him and Carol because he's trying to stop that, which he shouldn't do. That's not cool. 2, it's like they're friends. Come on now, dude. Don't be jealous.
Yeah, he says that the conversation between King and Carol are about how much the girl upsets her, and the King then stares at Daryl, and he talks to Daryl, and then he has lost his son, and he wants to get something of where their family was. But he never brings up to Daryl about take the girl out of here. He just says, "Stay. You need to stay away from my wife for a while."
Yeah, if he had made any mention of Lydia, I would agree with Jack, but at this point, I don't.
Yeah. So the next thing we get is Lydia walking away from the group and literally walking on thin ice, which is not thin ice, but
Metaphors, y'all.
frozen zombie in the ice, and her slowly edging her arm towards basically to get bit and just not have to deal with this, just to be done.
Okay,
with
so
it.
this
I want to point out though too with that zombie.
Mhm.
I swear to God, it got its zombies lessons from Simon because it was that same.
and this
He was frozen in ice.
literally the only thing he could move was his jaw. This was kind of this was a reference to the comic books.
Exactly.
Yeah, there was a point in the comics where Carol was doing that exact same thing. So
Well, that's how Carol dies in the comic books.
yeah. But
Uh,
it's Carol trying to kill herself by offering herself to an infected.
Which they wrote it that way specifically for Carol finding her and being the one to watch her, and starting to kind of become a little motherly for Lydia
Child
as well.
number 5.
Yeah.
This woman goes through children like a fat kid goes through cake.
Well, children come in 6-packs. There's got to be one more.
Yeah.
Just
So the
pull 'em
storm-
out the plastic ring.
So the storm starts getting pretty bad, and they're realizing that they won't make it to Hilltop the way it's going with the dark and everything. So where do they head? They go to Sanctuary. That looks like a shithole, like Negan saw it before. So
At this point, it's just a big empty factory. There's nothing there except maybe a little bit of shield from the wind.
Yeah.
yeah. So while they're there, Daryl and Carol chat up about the Zeke confrontation, and Carol talks about how she feels that she's losing herself, which was the situation you guys were talking about when she looks at everybody and who she sees.
And I love that he's just pure bro code here. She's like, did Ezekiel say something to you? He's like, no, we're good. Like, I mean, to be honest, he really couldn't say like, hey, by the way, your husband just told me to stay away from you, so that's weird.
Yeah. But yeah, she talks about losing herself, which I wrote to that. Yes, give into the dark side, let it flow through you. Because that's what we want. We want Carol losing
envy.
herself. Yes. We want Carol losing herself. That's
well,
yeah.
And can I say just for a minute, I've been predicting for the last couple episodes that losing a family member is going to turn her into freaking rage mode, and she just got sad. And that's like this.
Well, and she
Carol.
did the same thing before though when she started becoming rage mode. She got a little like kind of standoff sad, and then she like put the act on, and then you found out that she was like killing people.
Like, crazy. I'm gonna kill everybody. Oh my God, they're sick. They're gonna return. I'm gonna burn them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she burned people to death literally for hitting Henry in the face, and now Henry's dead, and she's like, I'm gonna stay in my room.
Yeah. Turn around, look at the stars. I got this.
Like you said, 4 children so far. It's like, well, you know,
she's just a bad mom.
Even the kids that she tries to give shit to with the cookies, they get killed.
I mean,
she just happens to be killing off the siblings that all acted as her children.
Yeah, that one family that has been the entirety of her children. Yeah.
I don't think they have any kids left.
They're all dead now. If you take that job, you're gonna die.
Those actors' mom and dad are vigorously having fun in bed to try and make some more money with another child. The Walking Dead.
Oh, give me an actor.
So while they're there,
I'm about to produce.
Oh my God!
Paycheck's coming. Paycheck's coming.
Feel free to edit that out.
Oh my God!
So while they're at the sanctuary, they figure out a plan because they can't just stay there, and they're going to do a shortcut over ice to get to Hilltop, but that's going to take them through Whisperer territory, which they were told not to stay away from there, not to go over there at all.
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole point of the heads on stakes. This is one of the boundaries. But I'm wondering, like, does the Whisperer's territory is like a panhandle into the middle of the Alexandria territory? Why do they have to cross over her territory to get from one of their spots to another of their spots?
I don't know. Maybe
I want to see a map.
I know. I want to see a map of this territory because between the areas, because you got the 4 areas plus now the Whispers areas. Did they have like a ring going around like through each place or something, like a giant circle that blocks them all off?
She defined 3 different boundaries for them, so you picture like the sides of a square or triangle at best. Why did they have to go through that? I'm confused.
Yeah, I don't know. Because that was the only straight shortcut. I don't know. I have no idea. It's just show writing.
Yeah, well, it's a zombie show again.
But
logic.
I had to see a map of this territory.
I
still
very
like
much want somebody to draw a map.
AMC, get on that. Get us a map of what the territories are for who has what.
Yeah.
Hashtag Walking Dead map.
Well,
I know.
yeah.
Because apparently that works because hashtag freaking Negan happened.
Yeah, it did.
While they're figuring out this plan, you get a Michonne Ezekiel scene where Ezekiel blames himself for everything that goes on. Michonne blames herself for everything going on.
Yeah, they're trying to have a blame off on themselves.
I put welcome to the pity party because that's what it is. It's really just like who's got more pity for what happened.
Where's the pity party pinata?
It's the storm of the pity party.
And the big thing with this episode, this entire episode, is they're talking about having to go through Whisperer's territory and all this stuff. It is just an entire episode of setting up the Whisperer War, the doing, yeah. So
so
that
they got they were seen crossing that territory. You just know they were.
Well, here's the thing.
No, they weren't seen. There's no way.
We find out towards the end of the episode that the Whisperers have just been in warmer territory all the time. They migrate like animals.
They're ducks.
So they spent the winter back down in the woods outside Augusta or Atlanta or whatever. The question is whether or not they left scouts behind or somebody that could have seen that. Because I saw things online about how they left clear tracks in the snow. Well, yeah, that snow is going to be gone by the time the Whisperers get back. Or the tracks will be covered by
it's not even that. It'll be covered so quickly because how much that storm was raging. Because as they're walking through it, you get 2 things.
Because as soon as global warming ends, it's just snowstorms everywhere.
Yeah, as you get 2 things as they're walking through it. One, we get a new walker to join the family tree, so you got zombie pops now, the frozen zombies,
zombie-sicles, sure.
Yeah. And 2. When you're
yes.
When you're halfway through the episode, because of the amount of fake snow that's being thrown around, you could either be a fully functioning 20/20 vision viewer of this or blind and enjoy the show the same because you can't see squat.
I literally had to close my blinds and everything and make my house totally dark on the screen.
And it made zero difference.
I could barely see it.
No, they showed the massive studio that they shot that in, and they were like, yeah, we had to drop so many potato flakes and feathers and rice and all the white stuff we could find just to make it so it was hazy, so you couldn't really see to the actual actors. Like, yeah,
good for visual, but at the same time, they should have made it more visual.
I think it works.
Cool, yeah. But at the time, I would have liked
so they get to the water's edge where the ice is, and 2 things happen. One, zombies start coming out of the woodworks from the snow to attack everybody.
Out of the snow works, yeah.
Yeah. And this was my observation to our WTF writing moment of this episode, because why are standing zombies frozen solid and the zombies that are buried by snow are moving around like it's summertime?
Yep. WTF writers. If you're under a pile of snow, you can feel free to flail around. If you're standing upright, you're just crystallized.
Yeah.
Because the zombies in the snow had more warm clothes on, and the zombies that were standing around were
actually, that is a survival technique that you can learn from Bear Grylls, apparently, and igloos and such. If you surround yourself with snow, it's never going to get colder than 32 degrees. I've been told. That doesn't sound right to me.
Yeah, but as a zombie, still, you wouldn't be they're moving, and standing up, and without a problem.
And I saw a lot of people saying, "Oh, this is an entirely new type of walker. This is something we've never seen before on Walking Dead." And I'm like, "You remember the sand pile zombies? Because that's the same thing."
Jack says, "If you have to cross frozen water, build a fire first, just in case you get wet." have the fire ready.
Absolutely.
Not
On the
if
other
you're crossing on the other side.
On the other
Well,
You're
you
leaving,
build
bro.
one on the
Put that there.
shore you're on, and then the first person that gets over there builds a second one
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
So-
that makes sense.
because
Yeah.
they're going to need a split then.
Or you could just like put it on a bunch of rocks and just push it across and let it slide all across.
Like curling. I'm picturing walkers out there with brooms in front of a fucking.
And he says, and yes, if you're under the snow, you will not get less than 0 degrees or less than
Celsius, I'm assuming.
Yeah. Another thing that I noticed with them going across the ice, Telltale Games, season 2, I believe, of Walking Dead.
I know what you're talking about.
They do cross the ice. They cross the ice in this manner as well. So I was like, "Hey, they're taking stuff from the games now.
Yeah,
Cool."
And Luke falls in the water, which I don't think anybody fell in the water when they were crossing. So
No, they didn't. Because they took it very carefully. Because Jerry had to stand back a little bit because apparently Jerry's family's too big boned and they had to wait. They're gonna go with the rest.
Yeah, if you if you're trying to cross a community across possibly thin ice rivers, maybe send the Samoans last.
Yeah. Like biggest people wait first so we can get everybody else across. So if you crash through the ice, oh well.
Yeah. I'm surprised we didn't get like a movie moment where you see a crack and then that crack spidering across the ice.
yeah, it happened in Game of Thrones.
Yeah. But then we get
Here.
we get the real bonding moment between Carol and Lydia, which is more of a pity party because Lydia's asking for death.
Did Lydia try to kill herself twice in this episode?
Yeah.
Well, she's asking Carol for death, and
friggin' teenagers.
But here's the thing:
And
with all the snow, Carol wasn't able to kill her because there was no flowers to look at.
That's why
There were flowers.
Look at the potato flakes. Look at the.
Yeah, that's why Chandra in Greenland was chill in World War Z because ice doesn't crack like that in real life. Is what
I think those were two separate comments. I think he meant Canada rather than Chanda.
Okay.
Yes, in World War Z, all the cold zombies are not a threat. But again, stab them as you go. If you stab them as you go, then you don't end up with a bunch of walkers buried under snow piles when you're walking towards the river. Stab them as you go. Come on.
Take me to the river.
Living in a snowbank down by the river.
Okay, so they get across. They make it to Hilltop. Jerry gives us our ship for the Walking Dead of Kingtop, and Carol confronts Ezekiel and divorces him. That's what happens with that group.
My
Seriously,
favorite
that came out of nowhere.
out of that whole snow part too. Was it after or before where Daryl kills the zombie with the icicle? That's probably my favorite scene.
Well, if they're gonna do
when
a
they're
winter,
getting ready to cross, yeah.
if they're gonna do walkers in a winter wonderland, then yeah, one of them has to die by icicle. That's just how it happened.
That was probably my favorite scene in the.
It was a great kill. It was a great, awesome, yeah. Frozen zombies plus baseball bat equals lots of zombie ball is what Jack Malice says in the chat room. So
I'm also fairly proud of myself for just coming up with that musical improv right there.
That was very good. Where is Lucille at this time of year?
she hasn't been made yet. He'll be making another one, I hope. So, okay, so back to the other group. What was going on in Alexandria? We get the quadrangle is there.
I love this scene so much.
The Judith, Negan, all the Alexandrians. So
RJ, it's Judith, RJ, Negan, and the quadrangle. There may have been other people there. I don't care. That was fantastic. Oh my god, Jeffrey Dean Morgan in this scene killed me.
it was fantastic. I love Negan in the scene, but the
Language.
one the one line that I wrote down that I loved was from Eugene, and it was Winter One Ice Storm Protocol. They have a plan for an ice storm. I love that Eugene's got like a whole plan set up.
He has 9 more.
He's just irritating, and now he's brilliant.
Yeah.
Eugene is the linchpin of whatever society he's in. He's just not. You don't want to take him to a dance.
Yeah. So when they're figuring this out, they realize that that Negan is where he will freeze to death. And I love that Gabriel's the one that says they need to let Negan out. So Gabriel is first the one that left the door unlocked, even though he says he didn't.
It was the guard's fault. Come on.
And then makes the call to release Negan. So I just think Gabriel really wants Negan released.
Well, I mean, they were trapped in that trailer together, right?
And why on earth, with Gabriel being in this quadruple thing, whatever you're calling it, would
Quadrangle
Gabriel
is what they're calling
it. Release Negan, who's going to be the one person that is going to call them out on it?
The man with no filter who is amused by everybody else's pain. Yeah, let's bring him on in.
Well, yeah, exactly. They bring him in, and you just have Negan play instigator and just go for it. Like he's finally around more than one person, so he's like, I'm gonna,
It was so good because the scene starts. He's like, I spent the last 6 years studying every inch of the room that I was in, and I gotta tell you, this is better. What is going on with you guys? It was so good.
Makes you wonder what's happening during those checkups, huh?
Oh no!
It was so
snap
great.
on that glove.
So we get the first bad news, and it's that Judith is supposed to be watching Dog, and she has no idea where he is with the storm going on.
Friggin'
And
kids
I'm like,
and pets, man.
if we lose another freaking animal,
Dog, you know what? It used to be if Daryl dies, we riot. At this point, if Dog dies, we're gonna riot then too.
Yeah.
and then they find out that the chimney isn't working, so they can't keep the heat going. And this is where I wrote, time to strip down and snuggle under a blanket because there's enough bodies there to try and keep them all warm. But
Yeah, let's cuddle.
You would have had a field day with that one.
but you could just put the quadrangle together,
So much body heat just
Poor
from Eugene.
Poor Judith and RJ. Poor Judith. Oh.
Judith can stay warm from the barrel of her Colt.
Probably.
So they realize that they have to move and they have to go to someplace else.
Because the chimney is entirely gunkified.
They gotta go to Aaron's house.
Yeah, so it's going to be
Which
a
is
little
apparently
bit more
3.5 miles away. What the hell took them so long?
the storm's going really bad. So
Or they can't see. There's a lot of
I
potatoes.
know, but it's still it's an enclosed neighborhood. How far apart are these houses?
when you can't see, it takes a while, and you got to
Doesn't-
make sure
it
everybody's
doesn't take
safe.
me. It doesn't take me 20 minutes to walk next door. It just doesn't.
It depends on how bad the wind gusts are and which direction they're going in.
Okay, I've seen a blizzard, and it takes a while to get to one place to another, even if it's right next door, because you cannot see.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I grew up in Minnesota, so I'm going to respectfully disagree.
Well, it also depends on the how strong the wind is, what direction it's going. If it's blowing towards you, it's gonna make it harder.
And it did seem like the house that they were in was maybe, I don't know, a couple blocks away from Aaron's house. That's fine.
Plus, it's whole families and it's kids, so
I respected the way that they had the whole let's tie a rope around everybody, make sure that we're all staying together. That was good.
Yeah. And Jack Malice says that if they kill Dog, that he's going John Wick on the creators.
Oh,
So.
if Keanu dies, we're gonna have Norman Reedus as his replacement.
But in the process of moving to Aaron's house, you hear Dog barking, and we replace stupid Henry with stupid Judith because she just bolts for the dog immediately.
I'm sorry, any child of a Grimes is just gonna not listen to rules and run wherever they want.
No, they don't.
Yeah, but in this aspect, the first person to actually go after the only person,
only person,
Yeah,
to
and
go
without
after her
hesitation.
is Negan.
Yeah.
So tell us again that Negan hasn't changed. He has changed at least a good chunk.
For Judith, at least, because he's got a heart for her.
Yeah. Well, and again, a Grimes child. He is fascinated with Grimes children. He
It's
loves the girl.
a little scary. It's borderline a little scary.
I choose to see it as non-creepy. I think he just is a genuine fan of that little girl.
Yeah, he is. She's a little badass.
And yeah, the fact that nobody else ran after her, that was shitty.
Yeah, that upset me.
Yeah, and Jack says Negan was always loyal. Yeah, he's always been loyal, but it's also that he's trying to prove himself. But it wasn't that's what I mean. He's changed. It wasn't a hesitation moment where he thought like, you know what? Wait, if I go after her, maybe this will help me get released. It was
it wasn't calculated.
Going after her. Yeah,
it wasn't calculated. It was I need to save her.
It was reaction. It was a parent reaction. That's what it was.
Yeah. Jack says his loyalty was never in doubt. It's his moral compass is stuck down. It's not. I don't think his moral compass is stuck down anymore.
Jack is going to forever hate Negan, and we accept that.
But he goes out there. He gets beat up. Things slam him in the leg and cut open his leg, and he gets out there. She saves Dog. He saves Judith. And literally the actress that plays Judith actually came out saying that Negan is a hero because of this episode. Mm-hmm. So
she's 9, so take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
Not only because she went after Dog and he went after her to save her. He not only just saved her, but he saved Dog too.
And he saved Dog. He saved Dog at her urging because he was just going to pick her up and walk, and she's like, "No, get Dog."
Yeah.
So Jack said it's not that he hates Negan. He just sees too much of himself in it. And so that's why he knows he's a bad apple.
Yeah. That's why if I ever have children, they're only going to be girls to punish me.
Well, no, if we're ever in the zombie apocalypse, I think Jack is the one that we get away from because he'll be coming with Lucille.
Well, if we're ever in the zombie apocalypse,
Lucille will probably be named after me.
The second I see Jack with a bat wrapped in barbed wire during a zombie apocalypse, wearing a leather jacket, I'm out.
I'm joining. What are you talking about? I'm joining him. This guy's got a barbed wire wrap bat. Yeah, I'm following that guy.
You're gonna end up being the guy that's
although he does point out barbed wire is a bad idea for dealing with zombies. Yeah, because
Someone's gonna be Simon.
Oh no. That evil. I mean, I'm close, but
so they get back to Aaron's house. Negan gets put on the mend. Michonne comes in to talk to Negan, thanking him for what he did. And now Michonne's coming around, and that's the big one. Once you get Michonne coming around, that's where he shouldn't end up back in.
She's kind of coming around on everything now. Like she's had this seismic shift in her attitude towards a lot of stuff now. She's back into reintegrating the communities. She's willing to forgive Negan now. What happened to her?
Yeah. And of course they had to have a snowball fight. Yay.
Oh, how cute.
But yeah, so two things happen at the end. One, we find out where the whispers are, because that's all I was writing the whole time. Like, where the hell are the whispers? How are they not freezing? What the And we find out that they migrated, and Alpha is preparing herself for a lot of pain because she has Beta just whip her arm and
kinky stuff, man.
Yeah.
Well, there were similar scars on Lydia's arm when Daryl was interrogating her. So apparently that's some sort of like pain toughening ritual.
I think for Lydia it was yeah. I think Alpha's just doing it because
she's crazy.
She wants to not fear any pain, like get prepared to get into it, setting up the Whisper War.
She's a zealot of her own self-created religion.
Yeah.
She's into that likes to be beaten kind of thing.
Yeah. We find out that Ezekiel is, when he's talking on the ham radio at the beginning of the episode, he's actually talking to Judith in Alexandria. And he finishes off the conversation with her and walks away. And we get hello, calling out live on the open air. Is anybody out there? A voice coming through, but nobody heard.
Did somebody finally translate all that? Because it was real garbled.
Yeah, it was.
That's what I got. That's what I got written from Skybound.com was the hello calling out live on the open air. Is anybody out there?
And who was
I got the is anybody out there part. That was it.
Yeah. So everybody's assuming it's the girl from the Commonwealth that's in the comics that Eugene talks to, but we don't know because we still don't know if that's where Maggie is, if that already is the Commonwealth. So
I think it doesn't really matter if that's exactly where Maggie is. It makes sense if that's where she is, but I definitely think they're driving towards the Commonwealth storyline. They're setting up very well.
At this point, I don't even miss Maggie anymore.
Jack says the whipping was stupid because now you smell like fresh blood. Her zombie onesie is not going to work now.
You might as well set off some, just rub yourself in beef jerky and walk through the Canadian woods for wolves.
How do women in the zombie apocalypse handle that time of the month, though? If you think about it, especially the whipping.
Oh God, I did not even think about that. Why does it smell like copper around here? Nope.
Oh God, butterscotch, yo.
And edit point.
Yes, I threw a kid's reference in there.
It's just me, Casper.
God.
And second edit point.
And I love Jack's comment on how they take care of that. That I'm not going to mention.
Nope.
I already said it. I said it like 5 times.
I didn't hear you say it. Okay. Yeah. So that was the season. And what are we thinking?
I like the way that they did the Game of Thrones style biggest episode is the second to last one, but at the same time it left me really wanting in the last one. Like this episode was called The Storm, and not much happened. This was not a storm, except for potato flakes.
There was a storm going, but
potato flakes.
Well, because they couldn't. They couldn't actually film a storm. They had. And they're not used to winter. It's the first time on TV in 9 years that they've had to deal with winter, so they're not used to it.
It's the first time the actors on set weren't just sweating their balls off.
Well, yeah. So, okay. Couple things. So, first and foremost, we like talking about some of the headlines that dropped because now it's going to be a while before we get the next Walking Dead. We're going to get Fear the Walking Dead in June, so we did get that notification.
Yay! I'm so excited.
And Game of Thrones in the meantime.
Yay! So excited.
And we had the trailer for Fear the Walking Dead. That was the other thing. Do you guys remember what happened in the trailer?
Oh, I remember watching it. I don't remember what happened.
Okay.
I didn't watch the trailer. I tried not to watch
You didn't watch the trailer?
I
got so excited for the Fear the Walking Dead trailer.
Oh, yes. That.
Oh, you did watch it. Okay. I got excited for one thing because something that we've been predicting since last season was shown in the trailer.
Sean? No.
Yeah. Ruben Blades is
oh,
back.
Yeah. Ruben Blades is back. Yes. Oh,
I was so excited to see him in the trailer.
Yes. Oh, I was so happy.
I didn't see it. I must have looked too.
Yeah, you get a little monologue of Strand talking. He's like, I know you must hate me. I've done terrible, terrible things. You know how bad I am, but I really need another chance. And then it cuts over to Daniel Salazar guarding a gate to some kind of community. And you're like, oh, Ruben Blades is back.
Yay.
Yeah. So it's going down the road that I want it to go down to, where he keeps like having an accident happen and keep coming back, missing more and more limbs or something.
It's just gonna be a torso with a head.
I want a running joke to end up happening with him of him just.
He's gonna end up being the peg leg everything guy from Family Guy. Just no limbs, just wooden stumps.
Stabbing zombies with the stump.
Oh, so yeah, that was the big one, was that they released the trailer, and then when I saw that, I didn't care about anything else on the trailer. I was just like excited, and then they showed, of course, which has already been released, that we're getting our second crossover from The Walking Dead to Fear the Walking Dead with
Dwight. Yeah, I'm actually kind of excited for that. I came around on that character.
Did Dwight and Morgan cross paths though, right? Yeah, they did.
In the trailer.
Yeah,
yes.
in the trailer they do. That's how, because Morgan's like, what?
Yeah. He's like, Morgan? He's like, what? Like, how many iron-faced dudes do you know? Probably Dwight.
Yeah.
The
So
comic books it was more gruesome too. A little more gruesome.
I want to see the Dwight interaction with Mo and the whole Trucker family. That's gonna be.
Oh my god, their nickname's gonna be amazing.
Oh yes.
I can't wait.
I want to see what Mo Collins ends up calling the guy that has half of his face melted.
Oh, God.
That's gonna be fantastic.
Okay, so
Ooh,
the other big news.
and her brother is Daryl Chill Mitchell.
Oh
All right, other big news that came out today. The third show within the Walking Dead universe has been greenlit. They already said that they were in the works to make one. They actually greenlit. We are getting another series within the Walking Dead. This one,
God, Gimple will live forever.
Yeah, this one will come out next year in 2020. And Gimble is not show running, thank God, because I hate when he was showrunner.
He's not showrunning. He's the executive producer of The Walking Dead.
Yeah. Matt Negrete, who was one of the writer producers on The Walking Dead, is going to be actually show running it. So they're bringing another writer producer from, that's where we got our current showrunner for The Walking Dead right now, and it was one of the best seasons that we've had. Yeah. So now they're following that same suit. Get out of here.
And
so
the new show is supposed to center on a couple of it's supposed to be a couple of girls that have grown up in the zombie apocalypse. So it's
that's what I'm trying. Yeah,
in the future, it's going to be like this is a story of the first generation that has come of age as the Walking Dead zombie apocalypse has already happened.
Oh,
yeah,
wow, okay.
yeah. The exact from the network. The exact way of describing it will feature 2 young female protagonists and focus on the first generation to come of age, like you said, in the apocalypse as we know it. Some will become heroes, some will become villains, and in the end, all of them will be changed forever, grown up, and cemented in their identities, both good and bad.
So it's a drama.
Yeah.
Well, that's what The Walking Dead is, anyways. It's a drama. So they're all dramas, but the difference here, the way I looked at this, the way that they explain this, I'm looking at this as being a more post-apocalyptic type of show for them, because this is going to be following characters that all they know is zombies. They don't know what real life was like before.
It's Judith and RJ in high school.
Yeah, but what it's going to end up doing is it's going to create that, because some people are like, it's just another universe type of thing.
If you think about it, it's not even Judith. It's RJ and Rosita's kid grown up into the zombie apocalypse as adults.
Yeah.
Well, Judith was born in the apocalypse as well.
Yeah.
Well, what it's going to do is it's going to create a different dynamic. It's not going to be the Rick dynamic, the Maggie dynamic, the Ezekiel dynamic, where it's like we need to rebuild and create communities again. It's going to be a dynamic of we just need to survive.
Yeah, and this is the world as we know it. Let's make the best of what we can do. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not going to be like let's try and make it as what we knew, and that's why I like that they went this spin. It's not just going because everybody what we were assuming was they're going to go okay, Walking Dead Europe, what's going to be the next one?
Well, that's what Jack said in the chat room. It was like a new show, Europe, UK Zombie Feast 2020. No,
which would be cool if they did that. They put it in another country. I mean,
Yeah.
we've had Mexico.
Yeah.
So,
But that would just that would be, and that's the thing is that would feel like that's the only thing they can think of. It's just like let's just put it in a different region. But the fact that they're coming with like a different mindset of character, I like the aspect. Now we'll see.
I'm
if
encouraged.
That's going to be the big thing.
Well, I mean, they already did the hey, let's do this story, but in a different locale when they did Fear the Walking Dead. The origins of the apocalypse in LA instead of the Eastern Seaboard. But as good as Fear has gotten, I'm encouraged that they're taking this really nice concept, and hopefully they're going to have all the best writers. I'm kind of looking forward to it at this point. I'm going to take that chance.
Yeah.
me too.
So, yeah, that was the best news I could hear for them doing another. So, yeah, Gimbal will work forever because like you've got the trilogy of Rick films coming out too. So,
What are they calling
Right now, it's just Walking Dead spin-off 2 is
Okay.
basically
It'd be
so.
Zombie High School.
It should be 3.
Fast Times at Zombie High.
I don't know what they're gonna call it. I don't know. I have no idea. That's one.
Romy and Michelle's Zombie High School reunion.
Oh my god.
But that was the biggest news that came out. Wasteland is what Jack Malice says.
Zombie 16 candles. 16 candles.
Ooh, yeah. Gross Point Zombie.
And he says it would be cool if they did another country, and I'm sure at some point that'll potentially happen. But I mean,
maybe this new one will take you to Europe, where they go to Europe, maybe.
well, I'm just curious what AMC's gonna do, because I think Into the Badlands is ending or ended, and then they just announced
already.
I think it's last season. Yeah,
They only did like 2 seasons.
the thing is, this is the 3rd season. I think that it wasn't going to get renewed, but they gave it one last season to finish, which is basically what it sounds like is happening with Preacher, because Preacher's ending after 4 seasons,
which is 2 seasons.
And then Better Call Saul got pushed out a year, so it's not coming back till 2020. So I'm assuming that this new show will just take the place of one of those, not Better Call Saul, because it'll be back the same year, but one of those spots between Into the Badlands and
in the meantime, they're just going to continue to play John Wayne movies because it's American movie classics. That's the channel.
It's the channel's going to change to TWD. AMC will be gone.
It's not American movie classics. It's the Walking Dead channel.
Last thing. So Walker Stalker Con London happened this week, and 2 things happened there. One, let me get into this because I remember there was some other things that I brought up. They talked to the actor that plays Beta.
Ryan Hurst.
Yes.
And here's what he said at Walker Stalker Con, just to get and see if you guys what you think. So he said, "Here's this giant guy who follows this 5'0" psychopath, but why is he following her?" A little bit of hints.
That is an interesting question. I think you might be in love with her personally.
Says, I can't give away too much, but what I love about this show, it is very slow to reveal any of its answers. Anytime that you think you're going to be onto something, they're going to switch to another storyline and drag you into some more cliffhangers. In season 10, Angela King and I have been rapping about exploring more of their relationship and getting some answers. So we're going to get some answers to the relationship for Beta and Alpha.
I have 2 theories. Also, he's either desperately in love with her or that's her brother. One of the 2.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And also starting to see if and when there's sort of going to be a divergence between the 2. That's about as much as I can tell you. He says, if I told you more, I'd have to peel your face off.
Well, when Negan steps in, there will be.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait for that.
They said he was also tight-lipped when asked if Beta will ever remove his mask, something his comic book counterpart never did. He said, we've been discussing that about whether he does, if he does. And also, it's just one of these questions that people ask. Why doesn't he take it off? And it's something that we explore in season 10. So we're going to get an answer to.
That's a weird thing to focus on. I mean, I get it. It's a weird character quirk, but that's like, does that guy always wear a leather jacket? Wait, I don't care that much.
Yeah.
Maybe the face he wears has a specific story. That would be cool.
Have you ever noticed that whenever them 2 are in a camera shot together, it's hard to get them both in the same shot because he's so tall and she's so short.
No, they have to use Lord of the Rings filming techniques.
Yeah, he is super tall.
He's 6'4", and she's, as you said, 5'0".
Yeah.
The last thing that King said about season 10, about the Whispers, we picture that they move south for the winter, but then who knows what that means? And the fact is, we didn't see them go. That's the scary part. Our survivors don't know if they're going to see them come. We want to set up that conflict with Whispers, not going to be like the conflicts we've had with other groups that are safe behind walls. So they're basically saying that they're just going to sneak up on them everywhere.
They're like monarch butterflies. They go to Mexico in the winter, and then a whole generation dies, and then they come back, and then they swarm your gardens. I'm not sure.
Yeah. And then the last interesting thing that was mentioned at Walker, there was actually 2 other things that were mentioned at Walker Stalker Con. One, was after all the stuff that's been happening with the actor that played Carl, Chandler Riggs, and the animosity. He was asked if he would ever come back to it, and he said he's down to come back for like if they did a flashback or something like that. He loved the character so much.
Yeah, when he's going to be 3 inches taller than he was before, ever.
Yeah, I know.
Actually, a little comment from Jack here. We were talking about the beta and alpha. He says it's difficult shooting them because he's not real. That's her. I'm assuming he meant alter ego or a manifestation of her ego. That would be amazing, except that we've seen beta do stuff when alpha was clearly other places. But
Daryl by himself, yeah.
I would love if that was like a Fight Club kind of thing. Like he's just other personality.
It'd be awesome. Yeah. And then you see her, she's whipping herself.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you get the flashback like
It's her fighting Daryl, actually, not him.
yeah, she's picking him up by the neck. Like, how strong is she? Holy crap.
Yeah, and then the last thing was Ezekiel. I can't remember his freaking Kari Payton. He mentioned.
Sorry, I'm the one with a third of IMDb in my head.
That's fine. Kari Payton mentioned a detail that was not seen to talk about how great the detail was on Alpha's character in the fair episode.
Was it that she didn't shower and she smelled a lot?
No. So he's like, it's one thing about this girl that like cut off somebody's hair, but then wore it. But he said because the hat was on, you couldn't see it, but he noticed it while they were filming the scene, and he looked closer. There's a little line. There's a line of blood on her head from the scalp being onto her head. So
I want to rewatch that now.
Yeah.
He's like just the detail. He's like, you guys can't see it because it's right. The hat was covering. He's like, but just that detail, that little bit of detail, makes it even more creepy for.
Yeah, I want to rewatch that now. That I need to see that.
Yeah. So yeah, rewatch, come back, tell us more. Yeah, that's it. That's the cast. That's our show. Let's talk about where you guys can follow us while we're
and we're done. Go away.
Not dealing with dead stuff. Now that we've been able to actually record this. So I see, where can people follow you outside of this cast?
At ICZoro on Twitter, Instagram, PlayStation Network. I'm currently reading Dune. I'm playing nothing on PlayStation Network right now. I've pretty much finished the Lego games.
Go get Telltale's Walking Dead series. You should play it.
Will do.
It's a story. It's all story mode. It's choices, and yeah, it's
right on.
It's just playing a movie.
You can still get them, right? Because I think I only have season 1 and season 2, and then I have the.
What's the
three finally came out with its final chapter, so you can actually play all of season 3.
What platform?
Any of them. Okay. It's just Telltale. It's the Walking Dead Telltale.
Yeah.
But they follow the same character through all the seasons. So
all of it, yeah.
And it's only 3 seasons. Then Telltale.
I thought they had 4.
Went bankrupt. No, 3rd season was the last one. So.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and Mrs. Malice, where can people follow you? I know you got a new Twitter handle.
I finally got a new Twitter since my old one. And I do have to look at it because I want to say that it's Walking Dead Mouse, but that's not it. It's at Walking Dead Mal, MAL 1.
Nice. Okay.
At Walking Dead Mal 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. If you want to follow any of the stuff that we have going on with this channel and the podcast that we have here, head on over to malice-corp.com. Reach out to us on Twitter at Malice Corp or All Nerd Podcast or Quest for Movies or whatever podcast that you like listening to that's part of our branding. Look us up on Discord under Malice Corp. Head over to Facebook. Look up under groups, facebook.com/groups/all things nerd podcast. Come join us there and talk about all nerdy stuff. And definitely come and subscribe on YouTube at youtube.com/c/Malice Corp. If you want to follow me, head on over to Twitter. I'm at Mest_Malice Corp or on Instagram at Mest5150. Thank you guys for being with us this season. Hopefully you keep coming back for more of our TV talk reactions. Like I said, IC has brought up, the next one will be Game of Thrones, and then it'll go right into Fear the Walking Dead. So thank you so much. We will see you guys soon. But as always, remember, we're all infected. Stay safe and don't get your head chopped off.
Carry on.
Bye.
I'm now.
Oh, so
Whip
excited
me.
for Game of Thrones right
Whip.
now. What's going on with you? What?
What? Why are we showing your arm?
I said I got to get prepared for what's coming. Whip my arm. Whip my arm.
I got a arm on my
I was
red
very confused by that.